The Elephant King and the Land of the Exploited, an Absurdian tale of generosity, greed, and late-stage capitalism. Once upon a time, in a world before stock markets and influencer brand skincare, there lived an elephant so pure of heart and resplendent of form that even the gods considered him a show-off. For this elephant, known as King Goodness, had spent lifetimes perfecting the arts of generosity, patience, and being the sort of person that wouldn't cut you off in traffic. One day, a man appeared in King Goodness's secluded home. He was lost, trembling, terrified, and presumably unprepared for life's little inconveniences, like not having a GPS. King Goodness, being the kind of elephant who would definitely tip well at restaurants, took pity on the man. "Just one thing," King Goodness said. "Please don't tell anyone where I live." Back in the city, the man quickly found himself in the company of ivory merchants, men who looked at elephants and saw dollar signs. They formed a pact, ivory for money. Armed with a saw and not even a whisper of shame, the man returned to the Elephant King's forest. And because King Goodness believed in people despite all available evidence, he knelt and let the man saw off great chunks of his precious ivory. The man took it. He sold it. He squandered the money. Again he begged. Again King Goodness gave. Eventually, all that remained of the Elephant King's once majestic tusks were raw, exposed stumps. In most versions of this tale, the Elephant King simply endures his suffering because he is a being of supreme virtue. But in the Absurdian tale, this is where the universe steps in. At this point, the universe decided it had enough. As the man walked away, ivory in hand, presumably whistling a jaunty tune, the earth decided it had seen one betrayal too many, and the ground cracked open beneath the man, swallowing him whole. Lessons for the modern world, or why America is just a bigger version of this fable. Somewhere in this story, there is a lesson about generosity, about how true kindness does not hold back, about how selflessness can transcend greed. There's also a lesson about exploitation, and how no matter how much you give, there will always be those who see generosity not as a virtue, but as an opportunity. King Goodness? He is every worker who gives more than they're paid for, every artist who shares their craft for love rather than profit, and every person who believes in community over individual greed. The men, they are every corporation that underpays and overworks, every billionaire who takes tax breaks while demanding more from the public, every politician who begs for votes, then guts programs. The earth is what happens when the system is pushed too far, when people finally snap, when movements rise up, and when the cracks in the foundation turn into full-blown sinkholes of rebellion. At the end of the day, you can only take so much before the ground swallows you whole. So maybe, just maybe, don't be the guy with the saw. Follow us for more Absurdian wisdom, or join us at thecultofbrighttodays.com. We're watching the world, and trust me, it's getting weirder by the day.